How's it going? It's Ronald Jefferson. Another video from Israel365news.com. Death for apostates, jail for blasphemers. A Libyan court has sentenced a young man to death for apostasy from Islam, according to the Libyan Al Jamaraya channel. The verdict was issued against a young man named Daya al-Din Bilawa, who graduated from the College of Information Technology in 2018. Daya was also described as a Hafiz, one who had memorized the entire Quran, suggesting that he was once a member of the Islamic clerical class, thereby making the apostasy all the more scandalous. It is unclear how the accused's apostasy has manifested itself, whether he had converted to Christianity, as is often the case with Muslim apostates, or whether he had become an outspoken atheist agnostic. You know, I tell people, if you want to see how a God is really doing, look at where he's ruling at. I mean, we once could say that Christ might have been the God of America. That's why it was so prosperous and strong. But look at these Islamic countries. They've been through their eras of having great strength and stuff. The Ottoman Empire under Saladin, under Muhammad, of course. They've had great moments in their time. But leaving the faith, you gonna kill me? I mean, the Catholic Church used to do the same thing. You know that if you didn't go to mosque, if you not mosque, but if you didn't go to mass, if you didn't honor the Virgin Mary like you honor Christ, which is like, come on, man. If you read the Bible, when Jesus started off in his homeland, the first thing he said was, "A prophet's never welcome in his hometown." And when he started preaching the gospel, the everlasting gospel of the Lord, his mother and his brothers and sisters stood without from him, calling his name. They wanted him to stop. They wanted him to stop what he was doing. That was Mary. That was Mary right there, trying to stop the Lord from his God-given duty to die for the sins of mankind, for shed the blood of God being shed for the remissions of sins. According to the Al Jamaraya, sometime in 2019, the accused was offered to retract his apostasy and rejoin the fold of Islam, but he refused to do so. What is clear is that the apostasy law being cited was established in Libya's penal code after the Arab Spring overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi. When we, the U.S., came, we saw, he died, to quote a then cackling Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. We came, we saw, he died. They used to be allies with him, man. You know, they got pictures of Hillary Clinton with that man. If you Google it, I believe, with Muammar Gaddafi. The development is another reminder that, as with every other Middle Eastern nation that experienced what the Western media long portrayed as the Arab Spring, a supposed overthrow of tyranny and authoritarianism, replaced by liberalism and progressivism, so too has Libya, home to where 21 Coptic Christians had their heads severed off for their faith in 2015, taking a turn for the worse. Beheading Christians, you know, that's what they talk about in the book of Revelations. In neighboring Egypt, for example, it was also just reported the other day that a Cairo appeals court confirmed a 5 years imprisonment sentence with hard labor for another man, the Cop Marco Jarius Shahata, who is charged with deriding Islam. The accusation is based on evidence found on his smartphone, which Marco had also said was stolen at the time. His father, a modest ironsmith in Kenna, north of Luxor, and his entire family devastated by the unexpectedly harsh sentence. These two cases, a man sentenced to death for apostasy in Libya and another sentenced to 5 years imprisonment with hard labor for deriding Islam in Egypt, come within just 1 week of the tragic case of baby Shenhuda, Egyptian authorities snatched a 4-year-old child from his adoptive Christian parents and sent him to an orphanage where he was forcibly returned to Islam. The reason for such an inhumane reaction is that Egypt is governed by Sharia, which not only bans adoption, but teaches that every human is a sort of prototypical Muslim on birth. They only lose their Islam when they're taught false things or religions. Hence the urgent need to remove this child from otherwise loving but Christian parents. Surely it is a high time for the civilized world to acknowledge Sharia for what it is, the antithesis of human rights. I know that's right. Unlike the New Testament, Sharia was made for the time it was written in. It was written in a very harsh time where, you really couldn't love your neighbor. Well, actually, you could, according to the Bible, because before Islam came, about 700 years, the Lord came preaching you could love your neighbor as you love yourself. And just love him and love the neighbor. If you love the Son, you love the Father. Love your neighbor as you love yourself, you go to heaven. But Sharia, that was written for the time it was for the time it was written. It does not fit in this time, unlike New Testament Christianity. Only thing really with Christianity, it is against homosexuality and transgenderism, men being effeminate and stuff. It's against all that. So you can say that's outdated, but I'm with God. I'm rolling with my God. It's wrong. And that's the end of the document. So what do you think? You know what I'm saying? What do you think? I don't consider the Islam an Abrahamic faith. I've read a little of the Quran. I don't feel I need to read the Quran at all. I feel Jesus summed it all up with the New Testament. And of course we have the Old Testament. But even the Old Testament, that was pretty harsh too if you read it. But it was a harsh time where, you probably couldn't love your neighbor back then because only God was talking like that back then. Love your neighbor as you love yourself and this loving God. And you had to, back in the Old Testament, for the remission of sins, you had to sacrifice the blood of animals. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know what to say about those poor people, man. It's 2022, and you getting your head chopped off because you're leaving Islam. That just lets you know that doctrine was not made by God, because it don't fit in this time at all. The Quran don't fit in this time at all. It don't fit in these civilized, progressive times we living in. The Quran just do not fit. I work with Muslims at work that come from them countries. They don't want to go back. Trying to find somebody to marry so they ain't got to go back. I said, I know that's right. I know that. I wouldn't want to go back either. I'm very happy that I was born in America. I wouldn't want to be born in Africa either. A lot of that's Islamic too. A lot of places over there where they'll chop you up or for saying stuff about Muhammad and Allah. I don't believe in Muhammad and Allah, do you? You gonna cut me up because I don't want to roll with your God, bro? That ain't how it is in Christianity. It wasn't like that in the Old Testament either. You ain't have to be a Jew. You can be whatever you want. You ain't have to be a Jew. You ain't got to be a Christian. We fine with our God. We don't need nobody. So, on that note, have a nice day. That's RKJ Topics. Bye.